So there are a couple of things which I did want to speak on this evening, just in brief. I think we're a very unique gathering at Cypher, aren't we? There's not too many Christian hip-hop artists around, there's not too many credible Christian hip-hop artists around that are actually really good and walk the walk well with duration and perseverance. There are some who often God uses in a season and for a season, and sometimes, sadly, they fall away. They don't finish well. And for those of us who read this, who know this, we know it's about perseverance. It's about finishing well. Okay, it's not about the short term. It's about being faithful with what we've got in step and in season, as God continues to use us going forward. We are very much pioneers in this. There's no well-worn paths in this, if you like. There's a lot of churches in the UK which many of us have spoken at and ministered at, rapped at, etc. And they're a bit like, well, you're a Christian rapper. Well, that's interesting. They don't know what to do with you. They've got no idea. Oh, you can entertain our kids. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you can do that. What else can they do? But for those of us who do this in ministry context, we understand the value of this. Okay, we understand this is not about us stepping up and entertaining people or making people laugh and giggle for an evening or something like that, which is all well and good in itself. I'm not saying that's not very good, but it's more than that. Because what we do is simply a medium for Jesus. You know, we want Jesus to be exalted. We want Jesus to be lifted up in all that we say, in all that we do, in the ways in which we operate, that sort of thing. And we need to be constantly checking, reassessing how we do that and how we do that to the best that we can. Because it's very easy to sort of not do it as well as we can do sometimes, which is really important to sort of consider with that as well. I think within the context of Christian hip hop, we want to be sort of considering with lyricism the way we weave in the word of God into our rhymes. When we play them on the decks, that sort of thing. We want to be mindful. We don't just want to choose a song to play because it's good. Okay, because there's a big difference between good and great. And my God is great. And people need to know that. You know, we know the state of culture. We know people have fallen away from Him. You know, we all know prodigals, right? So my heart really is that we can put a stop to that. You know, that we can stop the rot and prevent that from happening. And the thing I find with Christian rap and Christian hip hop really is people, whether you like it or not, people look up to you and they listen to you. You become what you might call a role model. Now, you might not want that, you might not like that, you might not like the idea of that, okay, but you are. If that's what God's called you to do, then by default you are. And what comes with great gifting, you know, there's many gifted people here, is great responsibility. And it's a call to man up, to woman up. If God has called you to do something, if He's given you a talent, you don't want to be the guy that buries his talent. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. It's really important. So we need to have some checks. We need to have some checks and balances, really, in our life. You know, we want to have people we can connect with, people you naturally gel with, people who are trustworthy, who are pastorally responsible, who you're able to turn around and make that phone call to and say, hey, you know what? I said something I shouldn't have said on the mic the other day. I was freestyling and a naughty word came out and I felt a bit bad about it, and it was in front of like 300 people. So I've just sent 300 people out the door thinking, oh, Christian rappers, yeah, they swear just like every other rapper. Is that glorifying God? It's not. And for me personally, equally, I would say in a battle context, you may or may not agree with me on this, but when I read the words of James, you know, Jesus' brother, he says this in James 3, he says, not many of you should presume to be teachers. Okay, my brothers, because you know that he who teaches will be judged more strictly. Okay, there's a responsibility with this. He then goes on to say, we all stumble in many ways. He gets that. We all think, do and say one thing. We're all sinners. Okay? There's the essence of the gospel in this. Okay, if anyone is never at fault in what he says, he's a perfect man, able to keep his whole body in check. When we put bits into the mouths of horses, we make them obey us. We can turn the whole animal, or take ships as an example. Although they're so large, driven by strong winds, they're steered by a very small rudder, wherever the pilot wants it to go. And verse 5 says this, likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. It has a capacity to wreck and ruin someone. Now, I don't know if anyone's read Dr. Gary Chapman's book on the 5 love languages, but one of these 5 love languages, basically 20% of people, if you want to be mathematical about it, potentially have the love language of words of affirmation. Now, those who are encouraged by words can equally be discouraged by words. Therefore, there is an onus and a responsibility upon you as a Christian rap artist to use your tongue well, to use it effectively. You use it to build people up. Yes, a bit of banter, yes, a bit of jest, but to use it to publicly humiliate someone who's got a passion to do what they're doing, thus they're on the stage in front of you, and to do it under the brand of being culturally relevant, I'm not convinced, personally. There are other challenges which come within Christian rap as well. I know for myself, I struggled with many years when God spoke to me. I was the only Christian rapper in Brighton where I was saved, where I became a Christian, and I was in the mix with loads of secular artists. Those who know the city of Brighton, you'll know Rizzle kicks come out of there. You'll know Brighton is a creative hub of a city. Okay, and I was the only guy there doing Christian rap. I didn't know Christian rap existed, sort of thing. All I know is God spoke to me about doing it, so I did. And I got slaughtered, I got mocked for it. I used to battle around clubs and stuff, and I used to make money from it, I'm not going to lie. And then God spoke to me through that verse. And I was like, heck, are you sure, God? Can I trust you with this, God? And I wrestled this stuff in my heart. I knew actually God had spoken to me and I had to act on it. I struggled with, do I charge a church for a performance? Has anyone struggled with that before? Have you ever thought to yourself, yeah, but this is my ministry, God's opened the door, but I need to eat. Well, Stormzy gets paid 20 grand a set, why shouldn't I be? Why not? Do you know what I mean? One of them, isn't it? So it's easy to be drawn into comparison stuff like that. I don't personally think it's right to muzzle an ox. You know, if God has called you to do something and you're faithfully doing it to the best you can, you should. A worker deserves his wages. In my book. Now, it's different if you have a personal conviction and God calls you to serve a smaller church in the context of a free performance, and that may well be what God calls you to do once in a while. You know, I know that God did that with me a number of times. Okay, but I think the bottom line is we want to be professional in what we do. Our God deserves the best. We supply the best. You know, we work hard at our art, we work hard at our craft, all for the glory of God. And you work hard, you deserve a wage for your work. How you negotiate that? What you decide is a fair wage, okay, it's a very subjective area, okay, that's between you, that's you and your heart and Him. You know, some people see it as their tithe to God, some people have, it's a secondary thing, it's your heart conviction. Okay, the bar is set here, and I implore you, every one of you in this room, and anyone who's watching this online or at home or anything else, if you are a Christian artist representing the living, risen, resurrected King, I implore your character to be worthy of what He's called you to do. I implore you to be faithful to your wife. I implore you to pray diligently for your community. I implore you to act missionally, constantly. I implore you to make disciples, to preach His word, not your ideas. Because His word will last forever, yours won't. Is the bottom line. You know, I think a man strives for God, likeness without godliness. We often see it in culture, don't we? There's a way that seems right to a man, which isn't always right. There are so many young rappers growing up who don't know Christ, and their understanding of what rap even is to rap about what secular rappers are rapping about. It's like a bit like lambs to the slaughter, right? What does that say to you? There's a broken, lost generation out there. Can we not intervene? Can we not say, hey, no, wake up, see Jesus, see He loves you. Yeah. And know that He wants to use you just as much as He uses any of us. For we're all sinners, we've all thought, said and done wrong things. And it's solely, holy and only by the grace of the living God that any of us can even breathe a breath in this place today. You know, He saw us at our absolute worst. He said, I still love you. Don't you forget it. Don't forget it. I love you with an everlasting love, unconditional love. Okay, it's not by works. We can't earn this. It's not like, oh boy, if I rap more for God, if I write more songs for God, then maybe He'll save me. He'll forgive me of my times I've struggled looking at stuff online which I shouldn't have looked at. No. You're saved and you're loved. You're going to heaven. Recognise it. Know it. The next question is, if you're going to heaven, who are you going to take with you? You know, I think we've got to consider that, haven't we? We've got to consider what God's called us to, who He's called us to reach, and how He's called us to do it as well. Guys, I've just realised I've just been speaking for a little while. I said I wouldn't, and I do this sometimes because I'm a preacher, and I just intended to sort of host this, but it just didn't happen. But that's okay. What we were going to do with some interviews, we were going to get people up to just share a little bit and stuff, if that's all right for those who want to. You don't have to.